All right. We got Andrea in the house. Hi, Anna. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. So happy to be here.
And Anna is joining us from El Salvador. Yes, it is exciting. And, it's usually warm there, but it looks like it's raining there.
It's raining. We had a hurricane come in, but it turned into tropical storm, thank God. But it's been
Hmm.
raining.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you and I were like on the other sides of the hemisphere, I think, and still able to connect virtually. And I recently met Anna at the high level summit, and it was great. And we really had a connection there. And I thought like what she's doing, especially, is very incredible. Irresistible experience creator. Maybe Anna, why don't you tell us what your company does?
Absolutely. Thank you, Asar, for bringing me into this podcast. I'm so excited. So, what is an irresistible experience creator? With my branding coach, we came up with this because it's not just about doing events, it's about creating experiences. So, I'm an event producer by trade and a nerd by because I'm fun. For me, it's fun. I've always been a curiosity kind of person. Like, that's how I learn technology. That's how I tell everybody to be about technology. Be curious. Press buttons. Don't worry about it. If it breaks, it breaks. We'll fix it. So I created this title for myself because when we were working with my brand back in that 2018, it was a long time ago. I didn't know how to marry my passion for events and my passion for technology, and how events have changed my life. So that's how I got into events. It changed my life when I discovered self development. I was dragged to the self development events by my parents. Parents,
Hmm.
drag your kids. It's okay. They'll thank you later. Oh, trust me, they will thank you later.
Really?
That's why you're a parent. Freaking parent them. Take them to the self-development events that you go to. I was so happy to see at that event, Azar, the parents with their kids. Oh, with the Gen Zers. I was so happy. That was my mom. Always
Nice,
taking me to
nice.
events. And that's how I got so passionate about it. I was the party girl. So
Mhm.
yeah, you can tell, right? I'm the life of the party. Like the party hasn't started until I've entered the room. And I was like, okay, events. I love to do this. So before the pandemic, I was just thrown into it by my mom again because she was in a program with Shanda Sumter, and they told them to grow your email list. You could do summits, and I was like, it blew my mind.
Hmm.
Why hadn't I learned this before? I was so wrapped up in learning content marketing, how to program websites on WordPress, how to deal with all this hosting issues, doing all the
Hmm.
things. And I hadn't put that two and two together. So when I stopped doing in-person events and got into digital marketing, I just dove right in. And then when she introduced me to some of her like colleagues inside of the group that needed tech help, I was like, wow, okay, I can do this as a business. I can marry this. And
Hmm.
that's how I all got started into Andrea Digital. Um, First, it was called Irresistible Marketing Lab because marketing is like a science. It's a
Hmm.
science and it's an art. And we test things, and technology is the same. We test, we try, we
Hmm.
fail, we do it again. So then I transferred it to an Andrea Digital because um with my personal brand, I created this framework, and all the experience I have from customer service, events, going to events, being an attendee, not just a producer,
Hmm.
being in everybody's shoes, like putting everybody's shoes on so I could see everybody's perspective. And with my coach, we decided that that was like creating an experience. So I was like, okay, so how can we make it sexy? But I didn't want to use the word sexy. And fun, because events shouldn't be boring. If you're dreading the event,
Hmm.
if you are like going, oh my god, I can wait for this to be over,
Hmm.
you're doing it wrong. And this is where I came in. I was like, no, let me introduce all of the things that I know from all my experience, and let's make this event irresistible. Create an experience for everybody. The speakers should be excited to be there. They shouldn't be mad about it. They should want to party with you. That happened at the high level event. I was
Hmm.
dancing with the speakers. We were
Hmm.
dancing with the owners, right? We were all there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and we were bonding and having fun.
So
And
you
that's
you
what
want to
makes
be
it more.
there.
Yes, you want to be there. So that's
Hmm.
why I founded an Andrea Digital, so that we can create events like that are experiences that we will forever remember, and they're going to be like a, you know how there's certain situations in your life that are the before and after that thing. So before this event, after this event,
Hmm.
my life changed.
Yeah.
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 So that's like a nutshell on how I got started and why.
That's awesome. That's such a great story. And I feel that everybody needs a event creator, especially a remote or virtual one right now, because we're all doing it and we just don't know. Like, we're just like marketing, you said, we try and try until it starts sticking. But tell me a little bit about the type of events that you recently hosted and the scale of them, how many people and things like that. How can we like really come to a virtual event and experience what we experience in Dallas right now at the physical event, right? Like how can we bring them too close together each other?
Okay. So that's a great question, because you might think that online events could be very boring.
Hmm.
We have this idea of Zoom fatigue, that the collective created, because, oh my gosh, yes, if you are at a boring 9 to 5 job and you have to be on Zoom every day, on the hour, every hour, you're gonna
Hmm.
go nuts.
That's my life.
Yeah, but it's boring when you have to, when people are forced to be there. They don't want to be there. There's so many meetings that could be emails.
Hmm.
Please, please, for the love of whatever's fighting, stop all the unnecessary meetings.
Yeah.
I do this with my clients too. I put boundaries. I don't do it. I do meetings. I love meetings, but because I get to connect with you. But some are not necessary. Have an intention. So this is what we do with virtual. It's only, I was telling your brother that it's only 80% different, right? And I was telling you at the event, right? It's
Hmm.
only 20% different, online versus in person. 80% is similar, I mean.
Hmm.
So 80% is planning, strategy, decision making, and being intentional about every single hour that we have people in their 3 letters sitting down. We
Hmm.
want them sitting down all the time. No, you can make them stand out and jump like Tony Robbins did. Come on. He made you jump like crazy in UPW when he couldn't do it in person. He was one of the biggest opposers of virtual events.
Really? And then he did it, and then he
And
just
he
did it.
changed his mind.
That's
Why?
awesome.
Because he met my mentors, Barry and Blue from Sage Event Management. They're the ones that produce high funnel hacking live too.
Okay.
Okay. So they were the ones that experimented with everybody. Okay, Pete Vargas, Russell, Dean Graziosi. So they created this workshop called Virtual Events on Virtual Events. And
Hmm.
this is where I was like, because when the pandemic happened, I was like, how can we make virtual events better? Virtual events have been out here for a very long time. I have
Hmm.
colleagues that have been doing virtual events for over 30 years. But what was a virtual event before? Before the
Hmm.
pandemic, it was just an experience for the audience outside of the event, like a fly in the wall. We were a
Hmm.
fly on the wall. We're streaming, it's a TV show. We participate in the chat, but it's not really participation.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what Barry and Blue taught us is how to bring that participation and engagement inside the Zoom rooms. And Blue and I will die in the hill of Zoom. I don't care what fancy dancy software. I'm so sorry, colleagues. I don't like your softwares.
Hmm.
I don't care what you say, but it Zoom already went through the ringer.
Hmm.
They're already prepared to host 1,000 people on Zoom at the same time. Are the other tools capable of it? Sure, maybe, but I think they have too many tech issues still.
Hmm.
And when we use every part of the people's time, because we have them here and we make it intentional, we can talk to them one-on-one. Tony Robbins said, go find out. This is not from me. He said that the UPWs that were fully virtual, the first ones, that were the most powerful events he's ever done,
Hmm.
because he got to talk to people one-on-one. He got to see every single face. When you are the
Yeah.
host and you only see the bubbles of the heads right over
Hmm.
there from the stadium.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, but yeah, it's doable still, but so cost intensive as well, right? Like when
Yes.
you're doing an event in person versus what's the cost difference between, like, if I say, for example, if I want to throw a summit for marketing agency owners who are interested in hiring, and I want to bring the best 1,000 best agencies in a hall in front of me versus doing it virtual.
Okay. So there's pros and cons for both. I love in-person events. Like, we met at an in-person event. I would love to hug you and keep you there forever. That's me. But for my introverted friends, hello. Most of us, right? Virtual is actually a way that you can open up in a more profound way.
Hmm.
So the cost difference, if we're talking about money, let's talk money. Money, it depends. If you're following my advice, I'm gonna keep you as cheap as possible. We're not, yeah. I don't care. I'm sorry, guys. Let's leave the audience's money and the host's money for better investments, like
Hmm.
hiring a coach, like I don't know, like joining the program, right, for the attendees. So
Hmm.
it's very low entry for the attendees. They don't have to travel. They don't have to stay at a hotel. I could give you all the amount, everything I spent for this event. I spent about $3,500,
Hmm. Including your ticket?
including the plane ticket. So plane ticket, event ticket, hotels, food, transportation,
Hmm.
going to an in-person event. Um, I know you spent a lot more because you had a booth,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? So we could save the audience's money. Let's do some girl math.
Hmm.
If the people don't have to travel, they don't have to spend on food, and we're doing it virtual, what happens is that they have the $3,000 to join your program.
Hmm. That's a good
And
one.
that's one. For the host side, because I know that most of you are thinking, I want to host the event, I want to do it. How much money are we going to spend? Depends on the experience you want to create. Is it going to be pre-recorded? Is it going to be pre-recorded and streamed
Hmm.
live? Is it going to be live? We
Hmm.
have to consider those three things. The third one, obviously, the live is the most expensive one, because we need to hire Zoom producers.
Hmm.
We had to have a team of people helping out in the chat, helping out, checking in, having them have the attendees go show you that they can use Zoom. Yes, we will make you check in. We have
Hmm.
we can make most of all the experiences in person virtual. And we use my formula so we can create a swag that touches the five senses. We send them stuff. Gifts is a love language. We gotta use it. It's also an
Hmm.
event language.
I
I'll
like
throw it
that.
to goodies.
I like the idea of swag before they get into their virtual
Into the
event as well.
virtual event. So the live is going to be the most expensive, because we want to send them gifts. We want to send not just digital gifts.
Hmm.
Also, if in the pre-recorded summit you want to send swag to your people, I'd recommend it. Gifts are always a yes on my
Hmm.
board. Yes,
Hmm.
people
Hmm.
love to receive things. And also, we're going to be touching all the five senses. So we're going to be connecting to the audience before.
Hmm.
And they're gonna be sharing on social media. So we're gonna be doing free marketing,
Yeah. Yeah.
saving money in marketing. So how are we saving money? By doing an event, right? Virtually. We're saving money by not having to rent a venue. We're saving money in lawyer fees, because we were talking about this with a few attendees. Guys, do you know why they took us in buses to the free event when we could have walked for 2 blocks?
Hmm.
Lawyer
What?
fees. Somebody can fall and break. Somebody can get hit by a car.
Yeah.
Liabilities.
Yeah.
Liabilities. You still have to think about the lawyer stuff for the virtual event, but it's less expensive. I'm sorry, my lawyer clients. I love you with all my heart, but sometimes you're so expensive.
But you're saying that, we can get this 80% of the same experiences,
Yes,
maybe even more if we
more.
dial it in with virtual events versus in-person events, right?
Yes,
So, and it's a
yes,
no-brainer for people who are still growing and people who may have good revenue, but not where they can spend millions of dollars on a virtual event, right? They can do a same impact level, almost the same impact level activity, fraction of the cost, and still
fraction
do
of
everything they can with in-person event.
yes, fraction of the cost. So, some people are gonna ask me, okay, let's give numbers. Okay, I'll give you a ballpark. Um, for Zoom, you just have to hire it for like a month and a half so we can set it up.
Hmm.
Okay. Then there is this software that my mentors created that connects to like a WordPress dashboard type. You can use that because it connects with Zoom, so it creates the rooms for you and does all their stuff.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I know what you're thinking. Yes, we could do everything in high level. Of course. Yes, of course. This is why I went to the event. I wanted to explore and wanted to see like all the things we could do virtually. So we can
Hmm.
use the softwares that we know. We use the same tech stack. I do not force my clients to change their tech stack. We use what they have.
Hmm.
If they want something better, I will force them into my new software that's coming out next
Hmm.
year. I mean, right? Just a plug and play for summits. So let's say you want to build your email list. Summits will cost you between, I don't know, 7 to 15K, 30K,
Hmm.
20K, depending how big you want to go. But it
Hmm.
could be less. You could use your current team instead of thinking of this webinar launch. It's a summit launch. So the
Hmm.
same task that we're going to do for the webinar, we're going to do it for the event. We're just going to
Hmm.
add a few more things because events require a few more things,
Hmm.
and we can outsource that. So it's not that expensive. And yes, I'm going to say we have cheap labor. We can use really good cheap labor here in El Salvador. We could pay them really well for local standards, right? And we could still get a great team. Or we can, of course, we can use RepStack to help them, right? But it's not as expensive as an in-person event. Like I'm gonna ask the high level people how much that event was. Around a ballpark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're saying that what's the approximate number? Like, for example, like if I'm spending 100,000 on an in-person event, I could probably do it in 10 to 20,000, 20% of what I would have spent, or
Depends how many bells and whistles, right? So the least
well, you want to get
interactive,
as close to that in-person event as possible without,
if we make it as similar as possible, I would say 20, 25.
yeah. And that's I think that's still worth it with everything. You're talking about gifts here. You're talking about multiple people running live streams, different stages you can probably do with this.
Oh yes,
You can even have sponsors in here if you wanted to, right?
all of it,
Uh,
all of it. You can create an experience just like it. You can have people go to your virtual booth and move from the booth so much easier, and
hmm,
make it a time thing, right? So we have certain different types of experiences. Let's say for the spot for the booths and the sponsors, you can have them create a special time just for them. I wouldn't recommend it doing it during the event, like the in-person event. It was really hard for us to go through all the booths
yeah.
as an attendee because we didn't want to miss anything.
Yeah,
So I
I was speaker at AdWorld
yeah.
last year, and I loved the how they set up everything. But they had like I think 10,000 people attend the event virtually, and that's and for most of the type of people that we work with and our clients, marketing agencies, that's going to be way too much. But I feel like working with a person like you, like, do you plan and prioritize everything, like put it in a mind map? Because as marketers, we're used to mind maps and we're used to seeing the big pictures. So
Yes.
that's kind of how you build out the entire program for whoever wants to work with you.
Yes, exactly. So the first we talk about the macro, and then we go into the micro. We create a map depending on what type of experience we want to create and the offer you want to sell. Because one of my priorities is for you to make profit out of this, not to break even, to profit. Also, though, okay, I'm going to say it. Some events are to not make profit and be in red. They're on
Hmm.
purpose like that.
Hmm.
It depends on how big your company is. So let's say company events, inside events, they're not going to be profitable. That's
Hmm.
not for profit. It's for community and bonding. It's for culture.
Yeah.
So for the ones that are going to make profit are the ones that we do for our clients, right? For the audience. So those we focus on the offer, and then we reverse engineer.
Hmm.
I sound a little like Gary Vee
Yeah.
here. So we reverse engineer, and we create an event that preps everybody for your offer.
Hmm.
So then your offer just feels natural, like the next step, and people
Hmm.
just buy it. Plus, we
Hmm.
sell tickets for the next event as well, of course.
Hmm.
So, of course, I'm here in the game of monetizing you, because I've had clients. One of my first clients, she came to me and she told me, so and so, I'm not gonna say her name again, told me not to sell our first summit. I was like, not on my watch. You're at least gonna
Really?
make what you're paying me back,
Yeah.
okay? And she
Yeah.
said, okay, deal. So we created a very basic offer, VIP upgrade with replays and some bonuses, and it was like $47, and it was in the relationship industry, in this spirituality, sacred intimacy industry.
Hmm.
So of course it sold like hotcakes and bananas. So right, we have to look at your audience, we see everything, and then we create an offer, or we use your offer, and then we create the event and the experience in the map. We do that, and then we add my formula, which is the 5 senses and the 5 event languages when we're creating the design. And
Okay.
this is how we become intentional. Not only we add these questions to the content we create, the sponsors we bring in, the speakers we select. We design the content before we select the speakers.
What
Not
are those questions, Anna?
you
So,
want me to read you my
sure, yeah,
questions?
that would be awesome.
Okay.
That'll help a lot of people. They may not be able to work with you, but at least gives us some
You can
framework to kind of
you can
take
get
it.
my checklist on andrea.com/checklist.
Perfect. Can you put that website address up, please,
Yes, yes.
for
Right
Anna?
now, yeah, let me put that there. So I'm gonna read you the questions though. So for those who are listening, first I start with the 5 senses. So the 5 senses, we start with sight because it's the most obvious. What people are seeing, what your audience is going to see, what your speakers are going to see, and what your staff is going to see. Please treat your staff well.
Hmm.
I'm here for I'm in the business of everybody being treated well. So what we do is, okay, we ask ourselves, what is the visual branding? Is the branding of the event have to be the same as my brand? My coach would say no. It could be
Hmm.
similar. It could be totally different. It doesn't matter, she says.
Hmm.
But in my opinion, I would make it similar, not the same, similar,
Hmm.
or the same. It depends on your strict brand guidelines. So check on that. What are they seeing?
Hmm.
So in an in-person event, this is part of what I'm going to do a summary on my experience of the high level event. The first thing we saw was this like thing in the floor that said welcome high levers or something, or like welcome to the high level summit or whatever, and then the
Hmm.
whole hotel took over. So we
Yeah.
do the same experience virtually.
Hmm.
Our brand should take everything. We brand everything. And also, the other question of sight, can we see our audience's beautiful face? Are they gonna come in camera?
Hmm.
If we're going to do it live. If we're going to
Yeah.
do it pre-recorded, we have to make sure there's experiences that are live so we can get to meet the community and the community can meet each other.
Hmm.
Because people go to events for people, not for the content you're creating. Sorry. I'm never going to sugarcoat anything. So, oh, oops. They come for the people. They come not to learn, they come to meet you, to see if you're legit.
Hmm.
So we ask ourselves that everything that has to do with sight. Your speakers, are they coming in drunk, right? Or under the influence of something, and you can tell?
Yeah.
If you can't tell, let them be. But if you can tell, right? Are your speakers going to come on camera and they're going to be a disaster, or they're going to be great? You have to train your speakers, even if it's Billie Jean and Frank Kern. They have to come
Hmm.
in. I'm sorry, guys, you got to come into the trainings.
Hmm.
So there's intention behind everything of the questions I've asked. So what are they seeing? The tools that you use, the branding, the gifts, the resources you provide. I'll go a little faster. Then we have the smell. What will they smell from the swag
Hmm.
box? Or if you're not sending a physical swag box and you can only afford to send a digital one, tell them to grab their coffee and their tea in the morning
Hmm.
so that they feel warmth. This is
Hmm.
scientifically proven. If you all meet, also for your team meetings, guys, let's have a coffee meeting. Bring in your coffee, your tea, your matcha, whatever, but make it
Hmm.
hot. It has to be
Yeah.
hot in the
Yeah.
morning.
Like it.
And yeah, so we think about that. The smell. Can we send candles? Can we send oil? Can we send flowers, perfume, snacks, drinks, everything? So what can they smell during the event, before the event, and after the event?
Hmm.
Hearing. What can they hear? Is the audio good?
It's very good, Anna.
Right? Because I have a good mic. So make sure that your speakers have good mics,
Yeah.
not just you, your speakers. So everything that they can hear, the music, the videos, be intentional about music. Music is so important. So
Hmm.
important. Dead silence on a virtual event is a forgetful audience. It's a squirrel.
Yeah.
Squirrel. No, have them in with the music. It changes the mood. There's a reason
Mhm.
why Tony Robbins makes you jump. Energy.
Hmm.
So, what are they hearing? Then the taste. The taste is the same as the smell, right? Like, what are they gonna be drinking, eating during the event? Are you sending them a Uber Eats gift card so that they can
Hmm.
order food and everybody can order from the same restaurant or something? Uh,
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, be creative.
Yeah.
Also the touch, right? What are they touching? Are you gonna send them a pen and a pencil, or are they gonna be touching their computers? Are
Hmm.
they going to be touching their phones? We don't want them to be touching their phones. We want them present.
Hmm.
So be intentional what you want them to touch. I know. Double innuendo there. Sure. Whatever. Think dirty. That's great. But like, yes, printouts, whatever, right? So we go through the five senses in every decision that we make. Every decision. What are they
Hmm.
going to see? What are they going to hear? What are they going to smell? What are they going to taste? What they're going to touch?
That's great because that's being, like a virtual event, but you're really tying it to the roots of a normal human connection that's going to happen. If we
Correct.
can still do that virtually, then yeah. So we get close to that in-person event as possible. I love
Exactly.
that. That's a great checklist.
Exactly.
And Anna put that up, annaandrea.com/checklist. We'll have that up on the screen right there.
Yeah.
And so that's good, Anna. What else do you want to give us before, like what does the process look like if somebody wants to work with you?
Okay. Okay. Before I tell you that, just a little thing I forgot. During that formula that we go through every decision with the five senses, we also have to add the five event languages.
Okay.
It was inspired by Gary Chapman. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. But I'm in the business of doing events for love. I want to love on you.
Hmm.
I want to for you to feel that you belong. And that's my purpose. So if you are like me and you are here in the business of making an impact in changing lives, in doing events because of love with profit, don't get me wrong, money is not bad. We will make everybody money, and that will make everybody happy.
Yeah.
That's a love language, right? Money is a love language. So make sure that you add this formula and think about what time, the quality time you're going to be spending. There are 5 languages too. So quality time, the goodies is the swag. So it ties with the 5 senses.
Hmm.
And actions. What are your actions? Do your actions match what you promised?
Hmm.
Right? And what are the words that you're using? Words of impact, it's called in my formula. Because when we are talking to our audience, our speakers are talking to our audience, all these words matter, right? Words matter because they become matter.
Yeah.
And it's so important that we're so intentional with our copy, with our promises, and we tie them with our actions. And then the last language, which we already talked about this at the beginning, which is fun. We need to inject fun into the event. And that's what I bring in for my clients. I can help you make your event that you're already hosting irresistible, or we can create it from the ground up. So
Nice.
I can poke holes. I'm a critical thinker. If you're into human design, I'm a manifesting generator, obviously. Right? But I'm also a critical thinker, and I can push holes, right, on what we can do better, what we could do, what was done great, and we apply the Stoic philosophy. I'm all about helping you plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G if necessary, because things will hit the fan, and we have to act fast and do it the best way possible so that people are not offended too while they're
Nice.
during the event. If they got it well, and setting expectations. So I
I love
help
how you bring everything
every,
from the real event, face-to-face events, to the virtual. Even that, that last minute pressure that you're talking about, that
oh yeah,
happens, is bound to happen at any face-to-face event. That's still going to be present on this one as well. It's just going to be virtual, right?
yes. So we have to set expectations for our audience, and we have to tell them the truth.
Hmm.
I'll be one of your truth speakers if you need me to, right? If the event is going seamlessly, I'm invisible. Nobody will notice. So I'll make sure that that's the case.
Love it.
How you can start working with me, you can send me an email at anna@annaandrea.com, like my website, or you could just go to my Instagram and send me a DM, and we set up a call. We do a strategy call. It's free. I know that some speakers say to charge for this, but I
Yeah.
like to get to know you first to see if I can help you.
Yeah.
And then we set up, you book me for the 3 months. It's a 90-day program. It's for
Yeah.
90 days. So I'm not going to do it for less time because I don't like to rush.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I guess you'll have your first strategy session from my side, because we're planning on a big event for our employees, and we're gonna have someone from my HR team book a call and figure out how we can work together, if that's possible.
Of
So
course.
this is great, Anna. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sure there's so many people who would love to enhance their online events and just take them to the next level. And this is what it takes, right? You want to work with someone who's been there, done that. Anna's, been there, done that. She's learning from the best of the best who are running the best of the best events right now. And she loves our tight little niche, right? Like, she was at the high level event. She understands marketing. So what else, right? What else can you ask for an events creator? So I think we got the perfect match for our tight little niche, the marketing niche. But thank you so much, Anna. We'll be in touch.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited for your next event. It's going to be so much fun.
We'll see you soon, Anna. Bye bye.